There are trappings into being a Roxanne. Hello, my name is Rivas Moyoki. I'm a sci-fi author and I write other things as well, but everything ends up in my sci-fi universe. Anyway, I went to see Cyrano with Peter Dinklage last night and I enjoyed it. I can't lie. I really enjoyed it, and it did make me cry, and it was a good, powerful performance. I have a few tiny objections, but what can you do? As a long-time fan, you can't satisfy everyone. So I recommend for you to watch it. If you haven't, go watch it and then watch me rant about it. So, Trappings of Being Roxanne. During the movie, I was quite upset with her being manipulative, but then you have to step a step back and remember the context of her existence and the lack of power she has, on top of that being poor and having no family. What little that she have to control her destiny are her looks. And as a woman who refused to be valued by her looks and demands to be loved for who she is, she and Cyrano are quite similar, but just on the opposite aspects of the spectrum of beauty. But as an intelligent woman who refuses to be loved by anything less than she is, she tries to navigate her situation to best of her abilities, and some of her actions do lead to tragedy, and she is a co-creator of her own misery. Um, but looking at her as a sole perpetrator is really unfair and not what the story is about. It's a story about three people who each contributed to the tragedy of their own destiny, because each of them only focused on their shortcomings and where they are lacking. Christian is also on the spectrum like Cyrano and Roxanne are. He just focuses on his lack of intellect, his lack of eloquence, and he doesn't even value his looks as something really important. Cyrano is focused on the lack in his appearance, and Roxanne is focused on the lack of true affection, I would say, because as a beautiful woman, she garners quite a lot of admirers, but her soul, so to speak, craves for something more, for something extraordinary. She really demands an extraordinary love. In this version, she's quite adamant to get the great romance she desires. But I would argue that we need to take a few steps back to truly understand Roxanne, because being a target of her adoration for so many years that Cyrano adored her isn't something that go unnoticed by a woman, because even though he didn't confess his love did come in a form of care, protection, and passion, even though the passion wasn't spoken. And over the years, she must have felt that kind of love. And she yearned to find it. She yearned to find out who it is that will love her so much that anything that happens to her doesn't matter, because he loves her for her intellect, not for her looks. And since she's unable to detect the source of the admiration and to suspect Cyrano for lying to her and deceiving her, she finds someone who is equally beautiful as she is, someone that is worthy of her adoration, and she targets all that garnered love at his direction. And it's an interesting thing when she comes to Cyrano, spoilers of course, comes to Cyrano to aid her, to command the target of her affection to love her back. She doesn't say, I love this man, I just want him to love me back, whoever he is. No, she tells him he must be the one who is smart. He must be the one who can seduce me with his words. He must be like you. And that is her ideal love. Someone who is exactly like Cyrano, but beautiful. Of course, vanity is always her flaw. But the essence is she already loves Cyrano, and she loves him probably as long as he loves her. But because of the obstacle of his appearance, she never considers him as a valid option. But she demands of some random stranger to be as beautiful inside as he is. And that is the template for tragedy. I can't say anything else. But the tragedy of being Roxanne, who wants an extraordinary love, is that she's given no choice in the matter. Cyrano is truthful when he said he loved his pride. Yes, he loved his pride, and like Christian said, he didn't trust her enough to make a wise choice. And having no valid information, she makes her choice on the wrong assumption. She's gaslighted into marrying Christian, and by being gaslighted, even though she received all those letters, as soon as she speaks with Christian, she's so disappointed because not only that the words are not what she expects of the words to be, but there's no passion like she wants it to, because she is adored by many, and she's adored as an object who is beautiful. But she doesn't want that kind of love. She wants the targeted passion of being loved for who you are. And that is I think that is the best idealization of love. Although I would remove all the tragedy, of course. If you can choose, it's better without tragedy. In real life, of course. In fiction, tragedy is always more memorable. So that is the essence of love we all strive to achieve. For someone to love us for who we are, but not for our appearance, our status, how much money do we have. So, in an essence, she desires that kind of love, where someone won't be swayed by the changes in her appearance as she gets old. I don't know. I feel so much for Roxanne, being widowed twice. What is she left with? With deceit, lies, and mourning two lovers, not knowing who she really loved. Oh, such an awful ending. I hate it. But as Moulin Rouge stated, the greatest gift you'll ever earn is to be loved, and give love in return. And even though I watched Moulin Rouge just once, it's such a powerful line. It's got stuck with me. Like, I love those lines when someone says something so clearly, so simply, that you just remember it without effort. And that is the part of the criticism I have for this Cyrano. Is I would work on words a bit more. I just like it. It the rhymes didn't fit well with me. I know I'm not saying I'm capable of doing better. I'm just saying when you hear a great poetry, you know you are hearing great poetry. So I'm probably biased because I grew up watching the Purdue as Cyrano and watching it in French, and everything sounds better in French. I don't know, probably because I don't understand it. Everything that you don't understand sounds just like mysteriously good. You can't evaluate it so much. And the musical part of it, I love musicals. I'm a musical fan. I'm always down for a good musical, and the music was very good, and the songs were powerful, especially the one that soldiers sing before they go to battle. Oh, that one made me cry. It was excellent. Uh, but that's the trappings of making a musical, is that you have less time to develop your characters, and all the time you spent singing, the characters didn't spend developing colorations to each other. So the part where Cyrano gets, I don't know, intimately involved, in a sense, and emotionally, everything here is emotional, with Christian, and when we see the back and forth between them, the two of them is lost. Although we see Christian adoring Cyrano, that part is there. And I don't know, it just followed the Purdue version too neatly. So, as someone who watched that version too many times, the movie was quite predictable. But for people who are not me, will be nice and surprising, probably. So, I loved the movie. It's a movie that can be rewatched. The songs are memorable, and the performances are good. I'm satisfied. It's a good Cyrano. Although I would so hate to be any of them, just any of them. Roxanne being widowed twice, Christian just surging into death, and Cyrano. So, aspects of Christians is also to discuss how awful it is to be Christian. He's so low, has such low confidence because of his lack of eloquency. But it was better to be refused by countless Roxannes and find someone who suits you and who thinks your personality and everything about you is adorable, than got stuck on Roxanne and just always suffer because you are not good enough. Because imagine if he survived, what kind of marriage would that be? Anyway, creators of their own misery, I would say that. And it's a great cautionary tale that should be rewatched. Just like, don't do that, please. Go be yourself, find love, and it's better to be loved and love in return than to suffer for someone who doesn't care about you. That's my take of it. See you around. Bye.